out of my face.
Get out of my face.
Or what?
Jack Doherty, once a rising star in the influencer world, now faces a crisis that could completely reshape his online presence and personal safety. His security team is abandoning him, and the reasons behind this decision reveal a troubling pattern of behavior, financial mismanagement, and a content strategy that has created countless enemies. This detailed investigation uncovers the full story behind this development and what it means for Jack's future. Hi, I'm Stacy from Gossips, and welcome to another video, the shocking incident that started it all. The breaking point for Jack Doherty's security team wasn't just about money. It involved a disturbing confrontation with an elderly man that was captured on camera. This incident perfectly illustrates why Jack's security situation has become untenable and provides crucial context for understanding the current crisis. In a video that has now gone viral across social media platforms, we can see Jack approaching an elderly man with a microphone, attempting to provoke a reaction for content. What happened next was shocking. Jack's security guard became unnecessarily aggressive toward the elderly man who was simply doing his job. "Get that expletive out of my face," the security guard can be heard saying aggressively to the elderly man, who had done nothing to provoke such a response. When the elderly man attempted to defend himself verbally, the security guard escalated the situation further, creating exactly the type of unprofessional confrontation that has become problematic for Jack's security team. The guard physically intimidated the man, even though he posed no threat, crossing lines that put his own professional reputation at risk. This incident wasn't isolated. It represents a pattern where Jack's security team has been forced to cross ethical and professional boundaries to accommodate his content style, creating a work environment that has become increasingly difficult to justify professionally. Why Jack Doherty needs security in the first place? After years of creating controversial content that involves harassing strangers, starting fights, and deliberately creating enemies across the internet, Jack has become one of the most recognizable and divisive figures online. His approach to content creation has left him unable to walk down the street safely without protection. What happens when Jack ventures out without adequate security? "What you talking about? You all right? Enjoy your meal," a stranger says to Jack, quickly escalating to, "I'll put you to sleep," when Jack continues the interaction. The irony is brutal. Jack needs security more than ever, precisely at the moment when he can no longer afford it. The list of potential threats Jack faces isn't just about uncomfortable encounters with critics. There are people who have explicitly threatened him online, people whose businesses he's damaged with his stunts, and people whose privacy he's invaded for content. The financial collapse behind the security crisis. What's driving Jack's security team to abandon him isn't just the ethical compromises. It's a financial collapse that has been months in the making. Jack's primary revenue stream was streaming on Kick, a platform that recently banned him after he assaulted someone on camera. This wasn't just a minor setback. It was a financial catastrophe. Without his Kick income, Jack has been struggling to maintain his expensive lifestyle. The situation worsened dramatically when Jack crashed his McLaren supercar, which cost him approximately $202,850. The accident occurred while he was live streaming, and footage showed him looking down at his phone just before losing control and crashing. Following the incident, streaming platform Kick took swift action against Jack by banning him and removing his account, citing violations of their community guidelines regarding dangerous behavior. Jack's unsustainable expenses. The lifestyle Jack maintains costs hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. His security team alone represents a massive expense. Professional protection doesn't come cheap, especially when you need it 24/7 because you've made so many enemies. Between his luxury cars, mansion rent, designer clothes, and security team, Jack is easily burning through 6 figures every month. His McLaren alone costs thousands in monthly payments and insurance. Add in his lavish parties, constant travel, and the team of people he employs to create his content, and you're looking at expenses that would bankrupt most millionaires. Meanwhile, his income sources are drying up rapidly. Sponsors are distancing themselves from his increasingly toxic brand. His merchandise sales have reportedly plummeted, and without Kick, he's lost his most reliable revenue stream. The math simply doesn't add up anymore. Jack is now operating with negative cash flow, spending more than he's earning. Why professional security guards are leaving. Being a bodyguard for Jack Doherty isn't just another security job. It's potentially career suicide waiting to happen. The security industry runs on trust and reputation, and future clients need to know you'll protect them professionally and legally. Professional security guards are trained to de-escalate situations, not escalate them. Yet with Jack, we consistently see his security team doing the opposite, getting aggressive, making threats, and sometimes even initiating physical contact. This behavior isn't just unprofessional, it's potentially illegal and definitely career-threatening. A prime example occurred at a Halloween party where Jack got into an argument with fellow influencer Corinna Koff. His bodyguard, identified as influencer Kane Kong, a man in the face, knocking him to the ground. The incident was captured on Jack's livestream, with Koff screaming, "What is wrong with you? Are you crazy?" This wasn't Kane Kong's first controversial incident. According to reports, he was involved in a similar situation in 2019. Jack has been paying his security team far more than the industry standard, essentially buying their loyalty and willingness to cross ethical lines. But now, with Jack's financial situation crumbling, that extra compensation is disappearing, and his security team is facing a brutal reality check. The lifestyle of a professional security guard isn't cheap either. They need to maintain peak physical condition, which means expensive gym memberships, specialized diets, and constant training. Just a few months without work could financially devastate them. Jack's increasingly desperate content. As Jack's financial situation has deteriorated, his content has become increasingly desperate and inappropriate. This has placed his security team in even more compromising positions. In one disturbing clip, Jack attempts to seduce his own brother's boyfriend for content. This isn't just morally questionable, it shows how far Jack is willing to go to generate views and revenue. The relationship between Jack and his security team has become bizarrely intimate in some clips. You can see Jack holding hands with his security guards, treating them more like companions than professional protection. The Island Boys parallel, a warning sign. Jack is following the exact same trajectory as the Island Boys, internet personalities who gained fame, spent recklessly, and are now facing the consequences. One of the Island Boys is reportedly now homeless after years of irresponsible spending and failure to plan for the future. The key difference is that the Island Boys didn't create nearly as many enemies as Jack has. When they fell, they could still walk down the street without fear. Jack doesn't have that luxury. Without his security team, he faces not just financial ruin, but genuine physical danger. There are really only 3 possible futures for Jack at this point. He finds a new revenue stream substantial enough to maintain his current lifestyle and security needs. He dramatically downsizes his life and content approach to match his new financial reality. He continues on his current path until the inevitable crash. Based on his recent behavior and apparent lack of self-awareness, option 3 seems most likely. Jack will continue his current path without protection and face the very real consequences of the enemies he's made. What happens when security leaves? Jack's security team isn't just abandoning a client, they're abandoning a sinking ship. The question isn't whether Jack's security team will leave. It's when and what happens after will reveal whether Jack has the ability to reinvent himself or whether he'll join the growing list of internet personalities who couldn't adapt when their initial strategy failed. Without his security team, Jack faces a world where he's completely vulnerable to the consequences of his actions. A downward spiral that's accelerating by the day. As Jack becomes more desperate for content and revenue, he takes bigger risks, which makes his security team's job harder and less appealing, which pushes them closer to leaving, which makes Jack even more vulnerable. The impact is already becoming evident. Recent reports indicate Jack's girlfriend has broken up with him and even called the police to retrieve her belongings from his residence. This personal crisis compounds his professional troubles, leaving him increasingly isolated just when he needs support most. Jack Doherty's story serves as a cautionary tale about the true cost of building a career on controversy. The money might flow initially, but the long-term consequences, both financial and personal, eventually catch up. His security team recognizes what Jack seems unable to see. This path is unsustainable, and without them, Jack faces a reckoning that's been years in the making. If you found this breakdown enlightening, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into influencer controversies and the reality behind the glamour. Do you think Jack could survive without his security team, or has he created too many enemies to ever feel safe in public again? Let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned for my next video.